This is basically a comedy show.
I'm very consistent. I'm a very stable genius.
And that's funny.
On the air everywhere, this is New England Broadcasting.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
I don't know. I went to a Chinese restaurant yesterday for dinner. I love Chinese food. I love it. But what I said to myself is I wonder if Chinese people at one point in their lives say, "No more rice, please, that's enough. I'm sick of rice." Rice, man. What is it with the rice? No matter what you order at a Chinese restaurant, you'll get a little bit of that thing that you ordered and 17 tons of rice. Where's the rice come from? They must have a lot of rice. You don't even have to order rice and you'll get rice. They got rice coming out of everything. I would be sick of rice by now. Wouldn't it be ironic at a Chinese wedding, they don't throw rice, they throw French fries? That would be ironic. And what's with the tea? What's with the tea? What's with the tea? Why is everything have to do with tea? It's like in America, everything has to do with coffee. I wonder if they have coffee shops that are tea shops in China or Asian countries. Instead of Starbucks, it's like Tea-Bucks or the tea store. Tea and rice. I don't know how you do it. I just don't know how you do it. I really don't. I don't. By the way, that's not racist. That is just a curiosity of a cultural habit. All right, that's enough. And that was meant with love, by the way. Hi, welcome to the program. I'm Ron Van Dam. This is the Ron Van Dam Show. I'm in it. I'm part of the show, but I'm not the only part of the show. There are other people that make this show what it is. It's their fault as well. I place the blame on Jason Shaw, who does, by the way, this is introducing the people that help out on the show, in case you didn't know. Jason Shaw composes the music, performs the music that you just heard, the opening theme, the whole bit. What a wonderful guy. Oh, if I wasn't straight. And then, of course, there's John Shanahan. Man, he's a comedy genius. He doesn't think he is, but he is. He's been writing comedy and writing all kinds of stuff his whole life, and he's just a funny bastard. He's one of the few people in the world that can make me laugh. And he does the comedy commercials, the introductions, the whole thing. And then there's Nicole. She's the British voice that you hear at the beginning of the program. She books some of our national interviews when the agents won't speak to me because I'm a jerk. She uses her wonderful charm to get the interview. She's a wonderful person as well. And then there's you, those of you that listen to this program, defying all definitions of sanity, and I appreciate that. I wouldn't say that we have a relationship because that gets a little awkward, but I think we understand each other, don't we? Yes, I think we do. So welcome to all. Thank you so much for whatever you do, which is probably nothing. This is my 7,543rd day of intending to exercise but will not. This has been going on for decades. I get up in the morning, I brush my stupid teeth, and I get dressed, and then I say to myself, I'm going to exercise and start the day with exercise. And that was like 25 years ago. I still haven't done it. I've talked about, I've joined a gym. I didn't do it this year because I got smart for a change. But every year I join a gym around Christmas time because that's when they put out their promotions. It's just $1 a month. Like, okay, like even if I don't go, you just got to spend it on that. So I do it. They give me a T-shirt that says Planet Fitness on it, even though it's not even Planet Fitness. And I go in there and they give me a tour. They say these are the machines that we have. These build the abs and things. This is a treadmill over here, and this is like a thing, an elliptical, whatever that is. Here's an exercise bike, and then over there got the showers in the back with lockers. And I'm not in my head like I'm going to use this shit. I'm not going to. This is the last time I will ever see your place in the space of a year. Do you understand that? You're giving a tour to a guy that totally doesn't care. And before you use the equipment, I want you to spray it down because the rest of the people that come here are just infested with germs, and you don't want to sit any place their ass was at one point in their lives. I said, well, okay, you're making this very pleasant. And don't stare at other people when they're exercising. That's creepy. We've heard about you, Van Damme, and we don't want you in here, really, but you paid the $1, so here you are. I am fascinated by some of the people that work out, how intensely into it they are. It's amazing. I don't have that kind of intensity for anything. I've never had that intensity, except for eating dinner. I think that's pretty intense. But I'm not for exercising. And these people are so into it, like, don't bother me. Don't bother me. I'm exercising. Don't bother me. And it's like they're constantly looking forward to taking a shower. Wow, man. You're not on the same planet as I am. You're from Planet Fitness, and I'm from some other planet. Our planets don't talk. Our planets don't understand each other. The other reason I enjoy Planet Fitness, and it's worth $1 a month, is they have pens. And I'm into collecting other people's stuff that doesn't cost me anything. I'm into that, man. I think that's America. That's what America is. Planet Fitness has pens, and in some of the location, the pens are even purple. I love a pen with purple ink. It's just so, it's so me. It's so hippie, you know. I'm like a hippie in the head. I love purple ink. I love the color purple. I don't know why. It's royal, and I'm royal. So I grab these, they say at the front desk, oh, you can take a pen with you if you want. What'd you say? I can take all the pens? Is that what you said? I can take all the pens with me? Thank you. And when I drive away and exit the parking lot at the Planet Fitness, I feel like I've ripped them off somehow. You know, oh, I got membership for $1 and I took all their pens and I got a T-shirt. You assholes. You really, you don't know who you're dealing with. Yeah. Just before I pull out of the parking lot, I'll sit in the car and I'll watch the people that are walking into Planet Fitness to exercise, and I try to understand their lives. Like, why did you purposely drive here in order to exercise? Don't you understand? That makes no sense. Because in real life, I mean, if you don't sit on the couch all day or in a chair all day, you're really getting plenty of exercise. And there's tons of things you can do in your home to exercise. You can do squats. I don't know what that is, but it sounds awful. I don't want to squat. I don't. I remember in kindergarten, my kindergarten teacher said, "Okay, it's time to let's squat." I guess it was some form of exercise, but I never knew what a squat was. And then it's, oh yeah, make believe that you have to do a number 2, like take a crap, but there's no toilet. Make believe it's that. Oh, that sounds like a lovely exercise. In junior high school, it was mandatory that I took gym class. I don't know who this guy Jim was, but he demanded that I took a class, and they had me doing push-ups, and I kept saying, in my head, I kept saying, why am I doing this? At what point in life will I ever have to do this as a normal routine or anything? I mean, it's like, Ron, there's a penny on the floor. All right, let me get on the tips of my toes and my hands and make my body go up and down. Then I'll pick up the penny. Why am I even down there? Push-ups? Who invented this? And then sit-ups. That hurts. Why am I doing something that hurts? There's tons of things you can do. You can walk around in your little apartment. It doesn't matter how big the place is. You just repeat more spatial things. You can lean on your kitchen counter or on your bathroom sink and push yourself up from the sink, making your back real straight. You can do that. There's tons of things. You can go up and down the stairs if you have stairs. Go up and down the stairs like 50 times. That'll exhaust the hell out of you. That'll put your heart out. I mean, there's stuff you can do. You don't have to join things. The worst thing about junior high school in the gym class was the locker room. Oh my God, the locker room. I had my own locker. I started forgetting combinations. I had a combination to my gym locker in the gymnasium of the junior high school. Then I had a locker in the hallway for my books, and I would constantly confuse the two. And someone said, "Ron, why don't you do the same combination on the hall, make it the same combination in the gym locker?" I said, "My God, that's why you go to school. That's ingenious." Nothing smelled worse to this day than standing in the boys' locker room in junior high school. Nothing smelled. That had the stench of 1,000 skunks wearing jock straps. It was the most horrendous stench ever. And sometimes I'll be in a supermarket or something, and I smell that stench, and some guy will go walking by me, who obviously hasn't showered or just came from a gym, and there's that stench again. It's an awful stench. My God, if there's like a terrorist or something, or somebody that you want to interrogate to get out vital information quickly, just wave a jockstrap in front of their face. They will admit to anything. Even if it's not true, they will admit to it. Just get that jockstrap out of my face. Because you know, and I know, jockstraps were never meant to put near the face. Ever. That's a form of torture. Hi, welcome to the program. I don't even know how I got on that. I have no idea. You might not realize this, but there's no script used on this show. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about when I start doing this show. Often, I have no idea who the guest is. That's how I try to run my life. Not successfully. I didn't say it was successful. I'm just saying, it's just the way it is. We don't plan this thing at all. There's no planning whatsoever. As a matter of fact, when I do plan something, I tend not to use it. Do you do that in your life? You say, oh, okay, I'm gonna get ready for time. I'm gonna write down what I need to do, and I'm gonna make a list. I'm gonna write a shopping list of all the things that I have to pick up, and then you go shopping, and oh my God, I forgot my list. Does it happen to you? So I don't prepare for the show at all.
To create each episode of The Ron Van Dam Show, Ron wakes up early, heads into the studio, discusses the important issues of the day, interviews fascinating guests, then finishes his show and gets up and puts on some clothes. Try getting that image out of your head for the rest of the day, suckers! You're listening to The Ron Van Dam Show on New England Broadcasting.
Why is that such a difficult image to get out of your head? We all do this. If there's no one with you and you're in the confines of your house or your apartment, you don't walk around with your clothes on, do you? Do you? You don't have to, you know. You don't have to. Make yourself comfortable. Be naked. I think that's the way that God, quote unquote, intended us to be. Naked. We created clothes out of embarrassment. But clothes are good. I'll tell you why clothes are good. It's because if we didn't have clothes and we were all like naked all the time, there'd be a lot of car crashes with very attractive people. But more so, it's just like, it would be boring. It's like, okay, that's what you look like naked. What am I going to get excited about? There's nothing to get excited about. I cannot fantasize. I can't wonder what you look like. I can't wonder what it's like for you to look like that in a sexual manner. So what would be the point of anything? With clothes, you don't know what the hell's going on. I wonder what they look like under the... I mean, how do you have a sexual encounter? Would it be the opposite? Like, well, all right, you're really nice naked, but let's get it on. Put some clothes on, man. I don't necessarily, I'm not a real religious person. Did you notice? I'm spiritual. People who are not really religious will say, I'm spiritual. You don't want to appear totally out of the loop. You want to have some kind of little in there, so you can explain yourself. But this Adam and Eve thing, man, come on. The world started with two naked people standing in a garden with a hula hoe. I don't think, and a snake. Out of all the stuff, a garden snake. I also don't believe in the Noah's Ark thing. I really don't. I don't know how one guy. First of all, an incredible responsibility on the guy. God actually saying, before they had cell phones, gather two of every animal and put them on the boat. There's going to be a flood. I would panic, first of all. Secondly, it's very difficult for a person to gather two of every animal before a flood shows up. This is something that could take a long time to achieve. And how big does that boat have to be? This is like the line from Jaws, like personified. Like, we're going to need a bigger boat. I mean, God. That must have been like an ocean liner for one guy. They're wonderful stories. I think they were stories that were created in order to make us understand. It was like, being in kindergarten. We had to create the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus. I'm sorry, kids. Yeah, there is real Santa Claus. Okay, fine. We had to create these little fables in order to make us understand ethics. We did that The Hansel and Gretel thing, all that. We had to create stories to teach us lessons in real life. And I think that's what some of those things are. Embellished? All right, if that's the word you want to use. I mean, maybe it got embellished. Maybe God didn't say to Noah, two of every animal, put it on a boat. Maybe God said, you want to save like a couple of dogs and cats because people are really going to have them for pets someday. So just take a couple of dogs on board with you and build a raft and get the hell out of here. I don't know. I wasn't there. And by the time these stories were written, they weren't there either. Well, I'm not supposed to talk about religion on the show, so I'm not. I do respect all religions and all fables and all stories, and whether they actually happened or not is not the point. It really isn't the point. The point is that as human beings, we act in a respectful, civilized manner. I'm going to end this little conversation here with something that's quite poignant, I feel. And that is that my only wish, my only hope, my only dream is that all the human beings on this planet just start realizing we're on the boat. We were the species that Noah was supposed to be saving. If Noah did anything, he put two human beings on a boat, Adam and Eve. And he saved them in order for them to create a civilization. And unfortunately, I don't think we're making the best of that. Human beings fight each other, disrespect each other, try to knock each other off so they can be better than the other one, try to impose their thoughts upon other people, and if they don't go along with it, they chastise, and worse. It's the opposite of what it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be a loving species. But it doesn't look like that right now. So maybe someday, huh? Maybe that's the hope and the dream, and maybe that was the message that those stories or incidents were built around. Okay, fantastic. That was really deep, Ron. I don't know how you do it. Now let's do something that is totally the opposite of what you talked about.
Here on the Ron Van Dam Show, our policy is anything goes.
Do not twist my nipples.
Okay, almost anything goes. You're listening to the Ron Van Dam Podcast.
Hi, Ron.
Hi, Jen. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Jenn Falik joins us now. She's a style, beauty, and parenting expert. Many people think they are parenting experts, but they're not. But Jen actually is. Okay, let's clarify that immediately. All right, we're talking about going back to school for the kids, which is unbelievable because it's still hot out and it's just the beginning of August. But yet, television is already doing a Christmas in July, so I don't understand. I'm confused. But it's time to prepare, and we're not just talking about books and clothes this time, are we?
No, there's so many different elements of being prepared. Yes, there's the books and the clothes. There's also things like, getting back to a healthy sleep schedule and, slowly transitioning from sleeping in and staying up late to a little bit more of a regular routine so that when it comes time to get your kids up at 6:30 a.m. or whatever time it may be, it's a little easier to get them up in the morning. Also, setting up play dates maybe with friends of theirs that they haven't seen over the summer so they feel comfortable going back on the first day and seeing familiar faces. And, getting a first aid kit together, that's another key component of, being prepared for back to school and having all of those essentials that you need to, take care of boo-boos, headaches, tummy aches, all of those things, being prepared in advance for that just sort of makes everyone feel more calm going into day one.
That's an interesting topic because when a cut or a boo-boo takes place, it's not just a boo-boo. It's like oh my God kind of thing. The child's going crazy. You're going crazy. It's kind of nice to have everything set up for moments of panic.
It is, and this is something sort of I learned after not being set up for those moments, and seeing sort of how my frenetic hysteria trying to pull all the elements together rubbed off on my kids. So having a first aid kit that sort of becomes like a mobile command center that you can bring with you to after-school activities is great. And right now, actually, if you buy 3 qualifying products in store or online at Target and Target.com, you can get a free first aid kit. And it's a zipper pouch, and it's there's a bright red. You can't lose it. You can't miss it. And in there, you can put everything. For me, I've got my Band-Aid brand Deco bandages that my girls love. We have gauze, fever and pain reducers, ointment for cuts, and just all these things that typically would maybe be strewn about my car and random cabinets in my house, now all in one place, so we're prepared.
We're talking about kids going back to school, but this kind of is for everybody because, even adults, when something happens, some kind of trauma, big or small, again, it's not the time to go searching for things. It's kind of a good idea for everybody in the family.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's always good for everything to have a home.
Yeah.
I feel like within your home, because then it's easy to find it when you need it, and especially with something like a first aid kit, the moment that you need it is not the moment you want to have to go figure out where all the components are.
Correct.
And with kids, too, it's like hysteria breeds hysteria, nervousness, and if they see you sort of, and I've learned this from much experience on my own of running around the house like a crazy person trying to find, the ointment and the bandage and this and that. If it's all somewhere that you know where it is, you can also easily tell them where to go to get it as well. Like if they know that this is what it looks like, it's this bright red pouch and it's here, then they're empowered to help themselves if you need to.
Well, I'm glad we're talking about this now, weeks before, the school actually starts. And even adults go back to work from vacations and things. Everything, I think September 1st, Labor Day should be the beginning of the year, personally, but.
I agree. I feel like that's when you should make resolutions.
Yeah.
That's when all the commitment should happen, because it's like, to me, I feel exactly the same. I think that feels like a fresh start.
Yeah, so it's good that we now have the time to get this together for once in our lives.
Yeah, exactly. It sort of gives us a reason to kind of look around us and figure out what we need to do. I think it's a big organization time for people, too. Clearing out the old stuff so you make room for the new, and just like flipping a new page.
Yeah. And when you do organize, especially with things that are immediate necessities, such as first aid kits, then you can just sit back and say, I'm good. I'm all set. It's fine. So
it makes everybody feel more relaxed.
Excellent. Well, I can see how you earned the title of parenting expert. I don't know. Did you go to school for that, or it just happened because you're a parent?
No, but, it's in fact, I'm a parent. I've researched these things and test these things, and, my kids will say I'm anything but a parenting expert, I'm sure. But, I think a lot of these are things that you learn from experience, from trial and error, and just from being part of a community of, people who also are in the same boat, and everyone's sort of discussing their personal solutions to different challenges that we face, and kind of having the space to try things and figure out what works for me and what works for other people, and sharing that with other moms and dads and caregivers out there.
Yeah, it's funny that you mention this, because many times I've gotten a scrape or something, and I'm rummaging through closets to find a Band-Aid, and it's kind of like, why am I doing this? Why can't I just put things where they belong? And all right. So where do I go again to get this? There are first aid kits that are already put together. How do I do that?
Well, so what? Right now, you can go customize your own first aid kit at Target or Target.com. If you buy 3 qualifying products in store or online, you'll get a free first aid kit, and there's a couple designs, and they're just really great, like perfect command center that you can take on the go with you. And in mine, I've got bandages, I've gauze, fever and pain reducers, ointment. So I like actually that with something like this, you can customize it for your family's needs. So I always find when something is pre-made, oftentimes I never use half the things, and I use up some of the things instantly. So this way you can go in, buy 3 qualifying products, and get a free first aid kit.
All right. Well, thanks for your help.
You are very welcome. Have a good fake New Year.
That's
Come
right.
September.
You too. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Well, that was wonderful. We're just about out of time for today. You've been great, man. You've just been so, I don't know how you do it. I really don't. Your tolerance level is incredible. Incredible. I'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new show. Until then, I wish you peace.